The title for today's video is called Replaceable. So what I mean by that is we have people, friends or whatever you may have, like best friends, bonds you may have with other people, anything has to do with like friendship or whatnot, or people you're just cool with, and they might come to a spot in their life where, hey, I may not, what I'm saying, I don't need you anymore, or you may have did something that just couldn't fit their criteria anymore, and so they'll probably let you go, or they'll just be like, hey, I don't want to be cool with you no more, this and that. And when you look at it, and it's sometimes a good and it sometimes is a bad thing, but it depends on how you look at it. Especially if you come from the standpoint where, hey, you just lost a friend, but that friend really meant, everything to you, or, y'all had some good moments. And you like, dang, man, how could I just be replaced like that? And you know what I'm saying? But it could be, you just gotta look at it as like, hey, people move on, and they sometimes just want better, or they sometimes can't see the bigger picture out of that friendship or what it could do for their lives. You know what I'm saying? And you can either be a hindrance of what they're trying to get to, or they probably just can't see it going forward. And it's cool though. It's cool. And sometimes that could just mean, hey, they was only there for that season that you're in. You know what I'm saying? And we know sometimes when you make these friends, you gotta take note that, these friends can either be here forever, through your whole life, or they can just be there for that temporary time, or they can just be there just for that season, just to, be there for you, like, comfort you, or, be, that friend for that time that you needed it, and that's not necessarily bad. So don't even look at that as like a bad way. It's just like, hey, it was cool and all that, what I'm saying, I appreciate you, but hey, I just gotta move on. I feel like I got more that's, offered for me. Now, a lot of times they're not gonna understand that, what I'm saying, because they may just think, oh, you just being bogus and yada, 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 this and that. And sometimes they're not even going to understand it till like later, till months, years later. And sometimes they might not even get it at all. But it's like, what you need. You know what type of friend group you need. You know what type of bonding you need. You know what type of friendship you need for your life. And you know what you want to have, for your life in general, the type of friends, the type of environment that you need personally. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody disrespecting that. Ain't nobody, saying that's wrong. But it's like choose your friends wisely too. And use discernment on which is, they good ones, or they just be the ones that just, be there and not benefit your life at all, or they just don't need to be in your life at all. Point blank. Now, even though they may not get that same person they got out of you from another person when they, replace you, that's the only thing they'll be missing. But it may be some similarities they may get out of the other person, out of the other friendship, than what y'all may have had. But it's like, don't even trip about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what you did to benefit them. You know the moments you gave them. You know what you done. Now you just gotta move on and be like, hey, I ain't finna let this, hurt me or not. I'm just move on. Find some friends that's, I can relate to. It's gonna benefit me in my life. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gonna be cool. And this is not just for just friendships, bondings. You know what I'm saying? Relationships too. It ain't just for this. This goes around any real world situation. Jobs, opportunities, especially jobs. You may be like, hey, I'm a hardworking employee, and I may not get treated like, you know what I'm saying? I may get treated a certain way, or I may not get treated the right way. And then sometimes they'll just replace you even if you are doing the right things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a crazy world we in. It's like, hey, you easily replaceable, and you know your value. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people think, and that's another thing. A lot of people don't see your value like the way you do. And that's people not gonna understand you. So everybody's easily replaceable, but don't really take it too much of the wrong way. And you just look at it as like, hey, you're moving forward. You know what I'm saying? You gotta push forward and just look at it as a growth aspect for your life. Say, oh, you might have did this wrong, or you just not a good fit. Just see how the things you may have been not a good fit at. Like, maybe look at it a way as something you can improve on for yourself, and then improve those things, and then try it again. Find another friendship and apply those changes that you made to another friendship and see if that was really the problem. And if you didn't have any problems and that person was just like, hey, I feel like you was only, here for that season, but I really appreciate you, and they let you go, just look as if they let you go because of that, then just look at it as like, hey, okay, I'm cool with that. And just look at it as a way, hey, I'm gonna move forward, and I know I'm gonna continue to grow from that. Because how I am. Because that person didn't say anything bad about me. It's mostly good stuff. But I was only there for that certain season. And that's cool. Because you're going to find more friends along the way that's going to be probably the same as that friend. Because I'm assuming that friend was cool. You know what I'm saying? And it was good to you. It was actually a friend. And this also applies for, jobs that you may work at. And you're a good worker, and you know what you bring to the table, you know what you bring to that company or that business, and you a hard worker, and nobody else not even touching you. You know what I'm saying? At the skill set and the things you bring to that job. And sometimes, managers, owners, they may overlook that. And a lot of times that's gonna happen, and that's cool. You gotta understand, that's cool. As long as you know what you do and you understand your value that you bring in that same skill set, it's going to be multiple jobs that's going to give you multiple opportunities and what you bring to the table. So don't even be discouraged, because other jobs, they easily replace you. But that's okay though. But we got to stop looking at being replaced as a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta look at it as like, hey, this is a moving forward process. This is gonna help me move forward with my life, get better in my life. And it's just gonna spark something in us to be like, hey, I gotta understand my value. I gotta understand who I am. And I gotta know who I am. And that's all that really matters. Once you get that, and once you understand that to your own understanding, you will be okay. You'll be straight. And you're going to find multiple, jobs, friendships, bonds, a relationship that actually fits. And when you do, that's all that matters.